All right. Yeah, bug spray gets them every time. Why waste the energy otherwise, right? Gotta love these old timey, early '90s graphics and sounds, man. It's something. All right, so welcome to the first episode of my Let's Play of World of Xeen. This is going to be a semi-blind playthrough just because I've seen other Let's Plays before, primarily by RPG Looney, but it's such a vast game that it's virtually impossible to know where everything is, even after watching somebody else go through it. So I'm expecting that it's very likely I'm going to miss things. I'm not doing this to be like, hey, I'm a master PC race, user, blah blah blah. Look at how professional my skills are, that sort of thing. I'm just doing it because this sounds like something fun to me. I've never played this game before as a kid. I never owned this game as a kid. I didn't even have a PC when this game came out. I was kind of one of the Amiga kids, I guess you could call it. But my cousin had it. I had a couple of friends that played it at some point in time that I knew through high school. So I just kind of always wanted to get into it and try it out. So yeah, I'm gonna load up a game that I already have pre-saved here. I went ahead and created my own characters, deleted the standard characters, transferred all of the equipment to my new characters, and killed the first slime because you kind of have to. So yeah. The first thing you might notice is my characters have unique portraits. They were drawn by Cyndybell, Cyndbyll. She took on the project, which was a pretty cool thing, in my opinion, because there's a substantial amount of work involved here. Each one of these character portraits, I think there's a standard one, and then there's 4 or 5 status portraits, which we'll see throughout the game, I'm sure. The only knock is that they were pretty good quality images done up in modern day PNGs with modern day color counts, which doesn't translate all that well into a very old game, unfortunately. So you can see her eyes are a little bit on the white and demonic side instead of purple, which is all right. But I'm just gonna give you a walkthrough of these characters and say once again that Cyndybell did a great job, and I really appreciate her effort, and she was an absolute pleasure to work with. So first up we have Fukia, who's going to be my lead character in this. She's a koi wolf, and yeah, all my characters are animals. Okay, so I'm kind of going through for a Wolf's Rain kind of theme here, where you sort of have characters that are animals, but they are presented as humans in the real world for their own survival and that sort of thing. So Fukia is a koi wolf. She's a coyote mixed with a wolf. She's a kind of a headstrong, very determined, independent female frontline fighter type, so the knight fits her pretty well. Shinaru is meant to be a bit older. Unfortunately, the ages start out as 18, but whatever, it is what it is. He's been around a bit longer than Fukia. He's a full-blooded gray wolf, and he spent a majority of his early days as a warrior, fighting in a great war against wolves versus wolves kind of thing. But in his later years, he kind of moved on to be more of an assassin. Gotta pay the bills sort of thing, right? Both these characters have pretty decent might. Shinaru's is a little bit higher. His intelligence is a little bit higher. His personality is a little bit higher. His endurance is a little bit higher. His speed's a little bit higher. His accuracy is a little bit higher. Yeah, he kind of lucked out there in the other stats. But Fukia still does have more armor class than he does, primarily because she's carrying the ringmail, which we'll get to in a bit. Both characters start out with 12 hit points. Yeah. Moving on to Alasnar, he is the only Arctic wolf in the team here, and he's more of a survivalist, rangery type. So I figured, ranger fit pretty good for him. He's grows up in the Arctic and that sort of thing, like you would expect of an Arctic wolf. So I imagine him to be a fairly rugged sort, even though his stats don't perfectly reflect that. His class reflects it more than anything else. But yeah, he's a pretty happy-go-lucky dorky scamp, kind of high on life sort of deal. Next up we have Tarja, who is a rather old character of mine, and she is a red fox. She's meant to be an assassin who has had dealings with Shinaru in the past, sometimes good, sometimes not. They don't necessarily see eye to eye, but every party needs a thiefy type, so I actually opted for the ninja for her instead of the robber, because the ninja kind of suits her character traits a bit better. She is more of a stabby instead of stealing and pickpocketing kind of deal. So she ended up getting some pretty good rolls for her stats. Speed of 21, accuracy of 19, so hopefully she'll be pretty good for the party. Her luck was 17 too, so hopefully she doesn't get knocked out by traps as often as thieves and robbers tend to, or robbers and ninjas tend to. Next up we have Skylia, who is not the biological sister of Fukia. She is a coin wolf, and she is the biological sister of the final character. But Fukia looks at both of these two as her sisters. She's very, very close and very dedicated and very protective of them. Skylia is kind of a pretty relaxed, as her expression probably shows there, pretty calm and collected, level-headed individual who's more into healing than fighting, so a cleric fits her perfectly. And last but not least, we have Skylia's younger sister, Katuzi, who's more of a, kind of like Losnar, in that she's kind of like a high on life, sort of a naive individual. But that said, she's also fairly intelligent, regardless, and so I thought she suited the sorcerer class better than any of my other party members did. So, give a rundown real quick of the equipment, which is pretty meager to start out with. Gave Fukia the saber, Shinaru a hand axe, and we got Losnar, since he's a ranger, he gets the only bow in the party, a short bow and a short sword. Tarja is probably not going to be using hers too much, she gets a dagger, and then we got Skylia with the cudgel, which is a little bit better than the club to my understanding, so she's going to stick with the cudgel. And Skylia, Katuzi, who should probably never do any melee fighting, but will undoubtedly do so because of a combination of my inexperience with this game and the fact that she doesn't have a lot of SP to start out with, so she's going to need to do something. Gets a meager dagger, a little dagger. And, Fukia and Shinaru start out with the majority of the armor. Pretty standard there. I gave Shinaru the helm to sort of even out his AC, his armor class with Fukia there. Losnar, just scale armor and the gauntlets, leather boots, that sort of thing. Everybody else is more or less the same. Cloak goes on Katuzi because why not? She needs extra AC, she can only wear robes. As far as accessories go, I gave Shinaru a majority of the accessories. Don't know why, just seemed like the thing to do. He's the oldest member of the party, so why not, just respect your elders and all that. I think everybody else just has a leather belt, so... Alright, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna step back into the tavern here where I created my characters, which you do here.
Hello, travelers.
Hi.
Goodbye.
But the reason I'm doing so is because I believe you could get some loots out of these beds here. There's a dagger. Woohoo. Nothing, and a gem. Ooh. We're rich. A dagger and a gem. There isn't a whole lot else to do in the tavern, I don't believe. You can talk to the tavern patrons. This chap wants us to go to River City, which I'm not at all inclined to do right now at level 1. Well, hi there, Mr. Slimes. Well, the first city that we start out in here is Vertigo, and it's having a bit of a problem with pests and whatnot. In fact, hi, Mr. Slime. Kind of walked into him stupidly. Hi there, Mr. Doombug and Mr. Doombug. Good thing they die easily. Yeah. I was waiting for that to happen. Unfortunately, for some reason, this town thought it was a good idea to trap all of their doors. Or all their gates. So unfortunately, Tarja is probably going to get the brunt of the damage there, because as my ninja, she's probably the best one for opening these gates. What we got here? We can't do that yet. Welcome to Vertigo, says the mayor. Sadly, most of the population has left because the town is infested with pests. A couple years ago, I hired Joe the Exterminator to rid the town of this menace, but the problem seems to be getting worse. Perhaps you could help. Alright. So that would be our first quest, and if I'm not mistaken... Let's see... I can't remember how to view that. Don't want to dismiss anybody. Here we go. Quests. Rid Vertigo of the plague of pests and report back to Mayor Gunther. Alright. And this is actually quite useful because in this game you can only learn spells from guilds if you're a membership, so it doesn't really make sense to give membership to my frontline fighters or Taria because they cannot cast spells. But Alasnar, I believe, can cast a little bit of spells. I know Katuzi can because she is a caster, so we'll give her membership, and we will give Alasnar membership, and I think we'll give Skylia membership as well. Because it's cheap, why not? Alright. What we got here? The bank, oh yeah. I think I'll pass on that for now. Damn it. Poor Taria. She's gonna be the whipping girl for a while. Oop, hi there, bug. What do we got in the crate? Nothing. Well, hi there, Mr. Bug. Oh, let's see, nothing in that crate. I don't know if she gets experience every time she opens it. Oh, she actually survived that. 4 hit points. Yeah, she should be alright for now. I don't know if it's worth resting for 8 hours. No, we've clearly been here before. And here. I'm not interested in the jail. Oop, already looted that box. Actually, let's go into the jail. Why not? Maybe we got something here that's worth something. Nope. I feel like I've probably passed up. It's the tavern again. What I've been looking for here. Walking around like a chicken with my head cut off. And it's daytime. Spent all night just walking around. Oh, here, this looks better. Alright. You know what? I think I'll... Oh! So resting was a bad idea there. Yeah, because everybody's still asleep. Shannara was the only one to wake up and actually do something about that. So, interesting. We had a breeder slime come out of this storeroom. I wonder what's going on in here. Let's have Skylia cast. Oop, wrong character. Yep. Select the right character. Magic arrow, why not? Definitely a pest problem going on here. Scale armor, not bad. Nothing. Poor Shinaru. Cutlass. I don't know if it's better than a saber or not. Plate mail, I know for a fact, is better than anything I got right now. Naginata. I think it's an integrated weapon. Ugh. Inside the crate you find a piece of paper that reads, breeder slimes, 1 mated pair, 287. 5 doom bugs at 145 apiece, 725. Interesting that the bugs appear to be more expensive per unit than the slimes there. But interesting. So it appears that Joe has been buying monsters and distributing them throughout town. Mayor Gunther will want to hear about this. Yes, he probably will. Since Joe is obviously an untrustworthy individual, I don't mind stealing all his crap and killing all of his precious little insects. Alright. I think we're done there. Taria's getting fairly lucky with the with the locks there. Pretty happy about that. Well, hi, Bug. A whole pack of them. I'm gonna avoid that for now. I saw you, Bugger. Hello. Swoop. Good job, Taria. Alright, should be back to the main square here. Is this Mr. Mayor? Nope, I went the wrong way. Thanks for cleaning up Vertigo and discovering Joe's treachery. Now it makes sense why the extermination of the pest was taking so long. I present you with the Outstanding Citizenship Award and this treasure. Congratulations. Oh, one more thing. I have received a message from the dwarves who reside in the Red Dwarf Range. They have urgently requested help and promised great reward to whoever is brave enough to come. Apparently, their mines have been invaded by the Mad Dwarf clan, preventing them from mining. Help them and report back. And much experience. 5,000 apiece. And 4,000 gold and 50 gems. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, this game works a little differently than any other RPGs that you're probably familiar with. Instead of, like, getting a fixed amount of experience and going up a fixed level, you gain experience and become eligible for levels. So everyone in my party should be eligible for a level now, and you actually have to train and spend money and time to do that, to get your levels. So let me hunt down the, forget where it's at. It's gotta be one of these doors, right? Oh, Jesus! Alright, well, probably not that place. Probably not that place either. Slime Temple. Which is a weird name for a temple if you ask me. This is the bank. Interesting bank. Actually, no. Probably should get the levels first before I go buying spells. There we go.
Looking to train?
Hi, buddy.
Good job, good job, good job. Not today.
So Fukia doesn't have enough to get to level 5, but...
Good job, good job, good job. Not today.
Sure.
Good job. Not today.
Oh, poor Lasnar. He actually didn't get to the next level.
Good job, good job, good job.
And I noticed Fukia and Shinaru are about 6,000 away from the next level. Taria, on the other hand, is a little bit closer. And that's because, as a thiefy robbery type, she's actually going to get more experience because she's going to basically be open up all our doors and stuff like that. And our chests.
Good job.
Yep, so Skyly is the same
Not
distance.
today. Good, not today.
And Katuzi, for some reason, is also behind with Alasknar. Oh well. Nothing wrong with that. So, we actually should be doing pretty good for HP now. 48 for the two fighters. Rangers at 33, 36 for the ninja, 28 for our cleric, and 18 for our sorcerer, which is small, but could be a hell of a lot worse. She's not going to be on the front line all that often anyway. Now, let's see if we can't find that magic guild.
Welcome to the guild.
You have to be a member to shop here, but Katuzi is a member. We have Sleep, Toxic Cloud, Wizard, Shrap Metal, Insect Spray, Energy Blast. I don't know if I actually want any of these right now. Ooh, Cure Wounds is a pretty good one. Interesting. Lastnar gets a lot more variety there. Nope, I'm gonna give him first aid.
Enjoy.
Because it's good to have a couple of healers. And I'm gonna do Cure Wounds for Skylia as well.
Enjoy.
Alright, that'll do for now. I know there's more spells there that I'm actually gonna want to get at some point, but right now I'm not terribly worried about it. Let's talk to Mr.
What do you want?
What's his name? Ooh, Static Scimitar of Monster Masher. Whatever the heck that means. Actually, before I talk to him, I got some gear that I need to distribute. Plate mail. So let's give the plate mail to Fukia, and take the scale mail off of Shinar and give him her ring mail. Is that it? Oh, that was it for the armor. I think I have like one dagger floating around too. Oh no, we got, yeah, that's right, we picked up quite a few things. Now the cutlass is not as good as the saber, is it? Yeah, they're relatively close to the same, but compared to the hand axe, I think it's, yeah, it's better than the hand axe, so let's equip that. The flail, is the flail going to be better than the cudgel? Yeah, I think it is. I think the cudgel's 1d6 and the flail's 1d10. I'll take that. Might as well give the cudgel to Taria as well. And let's see, dagger should be 2d2, and the club is 1d3. So yeah, I'm not interested in that club. Alright, well, we got a little bit of shopping to do.
What do you want?
Let's see here. I'll sell stuff. 5 gold for the hand axe. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Naginata sells for a good bit, but because it's a two-handed weapon, I'm a little hesitant to hang on to it. So I think I'm just going to sell that. Alright, let's go back to buy a short bow. I'm going to take that. I have no idea what the Sparking Shield does, but it sounds amusing. I'm going to buy that broadsword as well. Because the broadsword, if I'm not mistaken, is 3d4 damage. And that saber is 42, so... Let's see, what are the longswords? Longswords are 3d3, so I think I'll take that as well. Alright, let's, sorry about the boring shopping here. Let's give that to Shinaru. He can be a ranger as well. I'm gonna unequip the saber, equip the broadsword to Fukia. The saber was 42. So let's give the saber to Shinaru. Because the cutlass was 2d4 and the same. Oh, they're about the same, I guess. Pretty sure the saber's better than the short sword, so I'll go that route the long sword. No. Let's give him the long sword instead, actually. And then pass the saber. Oh, she can't use it. I don't think Skylar or Katuzi can use it either. That's okay. Short sword, though. Nope, she can't use it either. Alright, well, no matter. One more shot.
What do you want?
Sell a bunch of stuff we don't need. Love that background music. Scale armor, I don't think anybody needs that. I think we're good. I don't think he had any accessories that I was interested in. Nah. Shame. Alright. Well, that's enough shopping for now. Let's go hit the bank. Which is over here, if I'm not mistaken. I know you're around here somewhere, bank. There we go.
Safe and secure.
Right, so the one good thing to do at the bank is you collect interest on gems and gold. So it's good to have, like, anything that you don't need on you in the bank. So I'm gonna drop about 3,000 gold, I think. And let's go 40 gems. 30 gems. That's a good round number for now. You know what, actually, let's deposit another 400 gold as well. Shouldn't need that much. Alright. Yeah, I think the next step, really, I mean, I'm sure there's more to explore in the town, but I think the next step would be to head on outside and see what the Red Dwarves have going on. But that'll be for part 2, and I appreciate you kind of sticking around for this first part, because this is pretty new to me, pretty introductory and all that, yada yada. But yeah, part 2 will come up when I get around to it, hopefully sooner rather than later. I do have some other things that I'm working on as well, so priorities shift on a daily basis and that sort of thing. But hopefully you find this interesting enough to come back for part 2, and yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for stopping.